Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into a question that's plagued car shoppers for years. Is it cheaper to lease or buy a car? On one hand, you've got the allure of leasing, with its promise of lower monthly payments and that new car smell every few years. But then, there's the buying option where you actually own the vehicle outright and build equity over time. To make this comparison as realistic as possible, we're putting the spotlight on a popular and fuel-efficient vehicle, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. But is it better to lease or buy a RAV4 Hybrid? That's the million-dollar question we're here to answer. We'll analyze the lease terms, purchase price, financing options, and depreciation to determine which method saves you the most money in the long run. Alright, let's dive into the world of leasing. Picture this. You walk into a dealership, keys in hand, ready to drive off in a brand new car. No need to worry about hefty down payments, long-term loans, or the headache of reselling down the line. Leasing is all about flexibility and convenience. It's perfect for those who crave that fresh-off-the-lot feeling every few years, or those who prefer lower monthly payments over long-term commitments. But just like renting, there are limitations to leasing. You'll have mileage restrictions, potential wear and tear charges, and at the end of your lease term, you'll have to return the car. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of leasing a RAV4 Hybrid. For our example, let's assume you're looking at a standard 36-month lease term, which is pretty common in the automotive world. You'll typically be required to make an initial payment up front, known as a capitalized cost reduction or down payment. This amount can vary, but for our scenario, let's say it's around $3,000. For our RAV4 Hybrid lease, let's assume a monthly payment of around $399. Most leases come with a mileage allowance, typically around 12,000 miles per year. Go over that limit, and you'll be hit with excess mileage charges. One of the most enticing aspects of leasing is the allure of lower monthly payments. Compared to buying a car, lease payments are typically lower, sometimes significantly so. Lower monthly payments also provide a sense of financial flexibility. Plus, with a lease you won't have to worry about the hassle and expense of selling your car when it's time to upgrade. Now, before you rush off to lease that RAV4 Hybrid, let's address the elephant in the room, the catch with leasing. While leasing offers undeniable perks like lower monthly payments and that new car experience, it's crucial to remember that you're essentially renting the car, not owning it. When your lease term ends, you'll have to return the car to the dealership, and you won't have any equity built up in the vehicle. Alright, let's shift gears and explore the other side of the coin, buying a car. When you buy a car, you're not just getting from point A to point B, you're investing in an asset that you can truly call your own. No more mileage restrictions, no more worrying about wear and tear, just pure driving freedom. Buying a car is about long-term thinking, about building equity and reaping the rewards of ownership. Now let's dive into the financial nitty-gritty of buying that RAV4 Hybrid. Just like with our lease example, we're going to assume you put down $3,000 as a down payment. For our example, let's assume you secure a 60-month loan, that's 5 years, at a 5% interest rate. Crunching the numbers, this would result in a monthly payment of approximately $625. Unlike leasing, where you're essentially throwing money away every month with nothing to show for it at the end, with buying, you're building equity with every single payment. After 3 years of ownership, your RAV4 Hybrid, even with some miles on the odometer, still holds value. Now let's talk about a sneaky little villain in the world of cars depreciation. Depreciation is the decrease in a car's value over time due to factors like age, mileage, and wear and tear. When you lease a car, you're essentially paying for the vehicle's depreciation over the lease term. On the other hand, when you buy a car, you own the entire vehicle, depreciation and all. Now let's talk about one of the most rewarding aspects of buying a car. Building equity. Equity is the difference between your car's market value and the amount you still owe on your car loan. As you make your monthly car payments, you're gradually paying down the loan principal, which increases your equity in the vehicle. Once you've built up enough equity in your car, you can leverage it to your advantage. Building equity is one of the most compelling reasons to buy a car, giving you financial flexibility and putting you in the driver's seat of your financial future. Alright folks, it's time to put these two car-acquiring titans in the ring and see who emerges victorious in the battle of the budgets. With our hypothetical lease, you're looking at a $3,000 down payment and a monthly payment of $399 for 36 months. That means, over those 3 years you would have shelled out a grand total of $17,364. But here's the catch. After those 3 years you have to hand those keys back to the dealership, and you're left with absolutely nothing to show for your hard-earned cash. Now, let's shift our attention to the buying scenario. With our RAV4 hybrid purchase, you put down the same $3,000 down payment, but your monthly payments are a bit higher at $625 for 60 months. Over that same 3-year period, you would have paid around $25,500 in total payments. Unlike leasing, where you're essentially throwing money away on a depreciating asset, with buying, you're building equity with every single payment. After 3 years of ownership, your RAV4 hybrid, even with some miles on the odometer, still holds value. So, while buying might seem like the more expensive option up front, in the long run, it can save you a significant amount of money and give you the freedom and flexibility that comes with ownership. Now, let's extend our timeline and see how these two options stack up over a longer period. Imagine you decide to keep your RAV4 hybrid for a full 5 years. With leasing, you'd have to go through the entire process again after those initial 3 years. Another down payment, another set of monthly payments, and another car to return at the end. That's money down the drain, folks. With buying, however, your car payments stay the same, unless you refinance, and you continue to build equity with every payment. After 5 years, your RAV4 hybrid will likely be worth even less. But guess what? You own it outright. No more car payments, no more depreciation worries, just pure driving freedom. Plus, you've built up a significant amount of equity in your vehicle, which you can use to your advantage if you decide to upgrade to a newer model down the line. So, as you can see, the longer you hold on to a car, the more financially advantageous buying becomes compared to leasing. Of course, there are other factors to consider, such as maintenance costs, potential repairs, and your personal financial situation. But in general, if you're looking for a long-term investment and want to maximize your financial savings, buying a car is the way to go. Now, we've spent a good chunk of time talking numbers, crunching figures, and dissecting the financial implications of leasing versus buying. But let's face it, folks, sometimes the decision of whether to lease or buy goes beyond pure economics. There are intangible factors at play here. Those hard-to-quantify elements that tug at our heartstrings and influence our choices. Leasing for some represents a certain allure, a sense of freedom and flexibility that's hard to resist. It's the appeal of driving a brand new car every few years, always having the latest technology and safety features at your fingertips. It's the peace of mind that comes with a factory warranty, knowing that if anything goes wrong, you're covered. For some, it's about keeping up with the Joneses, having that shiny new object in the driveway to impress the neighbors. But beyond the superficial, there's a practical side to leasing that resonates with many car shoppers. It's the convenience of lower monthly payments, freeing up cash flow for other financial goals, or simply allowing for more wiggle room in the budget. It's the simplicity of returning the car at the end of the lease term, no need to deal with the hassle of selling or trading it in. Now, on the flip side, we have buying a car, an experience often laden with emotions, aspirations, and a sense of accomplishment. It's that feeling of pride, that deep-seated satisfaction that comes with owning something you've worked hard for. It's about seeing your name on that car title, knowing that this vehicle, with all its quirks and imperfections, is yours, free and clear. For many, buying a car represents a significant milestone, a symbol of financial stability and independence. It's the culmination of months or even years of saving, budgeting, and making responsible financial decisions. And let's not forget the emotional connection we often form with our cars. They become more than just modes of transportation. They transform into trusted companions, silent witnesses to life's adventures, and repositories of cherished memories. Remember that cross-country road trip with your college buddies? Or that time you packed up the car and moved to a new city to chase your dreams? These experiences, these moments, become intertwined with the very fabric of our lives, and the cars that carried us through them hold a special place in our hearts. Buying a car allows you to forge that deep connection, to create a lasting bond that transcends the transactional nature of leasing. So, we've explored the financial implications, the intangible benefits, and the emotional aspects of leasing versus buying a car. Now it's time to bring it all together and answer the million-dollar question: which option is right for you? The truth is, folks, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The best choice depends on your individual circumstances, your financial situation, your lifestyle, and your priorities. If you thrive on the excitement of driving a new car every few years, prioritize lower monthly payments, and prefer the convenience of a lease agreement, then leasing might be the perfect fit for your lifestyle. But if you value ownership, enjoy the freedom of customizing your ride, and prefer to build equity in your assets, then buying a car is the way to go. Take some time to reflect on your needs, your driving habits, and your long-term financial goals. Consider how long you plan to keep the car, how much you're willing to spend on monthly payments, and whether you're comfortable with the restrictions that come with leasing. Once you've carefully weighed these factors, the decision of whether to lease or buy will become crystal clear, aligning with your individual circumstances and setting you on the path to automotive bliss. Now, we've covered a lot of ground here, folks, comparing the ins and outs of leasing versus buying. And while we've established that buying often comes out on top in the long run, there are certain scenarios where leasing can actually make more financial sense. Think of it like this: leasing is like renting a swanky apartment in a trendy neighborhood. It's great for short-term stays, allows you to experience a different lifestyle without the commitment of homeownership, and keeps your monthly expenses relatively predictable. So, when does leasing really hit that sweet spot? Well, if you're someone who craves that new car smell every few years, leasing allows you to constantly upgrade to the latest and greatest model without the hassle of selling or trading in your old ride. You get to enjoy the newest technology, the most up-to-date safety features, and that pristine, fresh-off-the-lot feel. Plus, with leasing, you're typically covered by the manufacturer's warranty for the duration of your lease term, giving you peace of mind knowing that most repairs will be taken care of without putting a dent in your wallet. So, if you prioritize having the latest and greatest value, convenience, and worry-free driving, and don't mind the temporary nature of leasing, then this option might just be your ticket to automotive bliss. Now let's talk about the flip side. Buying a car. We've established that, in the long game, buying often reigns supreme in terms of financial benefits and overall value. Think of owning a car like owning your dream home. It's a long-term investment that requires careful consideration, a bit of financial planning, and a commitment to maintenance and upkeep. But the rewards? Oh, the rewards. When you buy a car, you're not just investing in a depreciating asset. You're investing in freedom, flexibility, and the pride of ownership. You have the freedom to drive as many miles as you please without worrying about mileage restrictions, the flexibility to customize your ride to your heart's content, and the deep satisfaction of knowing that this vehicle, with all its quirks and imperfections, is yours, free and clear. Plus, once you've paid off that car loan, you get to enjoy years of depreciation-free driving, which means more money in your pocket for other financial goals or simply to enjoy life's little luxuries. So if you're the type of person who values long-term thinking, enjoys the freedom and flexibility of ownership, and takes pride in building equity in your assets, then buying a car is the path to automotive enlightenment. So there you have it, folks. We've journeyed through the intricate worlds of leasing and buying, dissected the financial implications, weighed the intangible benefits, and explored the emotional aspects of each option. But at the end of the day, the decision of whether to lease or buy a car is a deeply personal one. There's no magic formula, no one-size-fits-all answer that will satisfy every driver's needs and aspirations. The key is to carefully consider your individual circumstances, your financial situation, your lifestyle, and your priorities. Are you drawn to the allure of driving a brand new car every few years, enjoying the latest technology and that fresh off the lot smell? Or do you value the pride of ownership, the freedom to customize your ride, and the financial security of building equity in an asset? Take the time to weigh the pros and cons, crunch the numbers, and most importantly, listen to your gut. The right choice will be the one that aligns with your values, supports your financial goals, and brings a smile to your face every time you slide behind the wheel. Remember, whether you choose to lease or buy, the ultimate goal is to enjoy the ride, embrace the freedom of the open road, and create lasting memories along the way. Happy driving, everyone.